Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. You're listening to Say Something Real. I'm choking on these extra crispy cheeses right
Thanks, Mary Ellen.
the bottom drawer. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me. She got Cheez-Its. I got all excited because since they ain't no breakfast this morning, I was like, woo, Cheez-Its. But they the extra crispy.
I mean,
Man, they got my mouth on Sahara Desert.
like Arizona going.
That's what you get for messing with people's stuff.
Michelle,
Yes, sir.
where's your quality coffee doohickey thing thermos bottle?
Oh, you know what? I didn't wash it this morning. So
I just noticed, when you always were talking about quality.
oh my God. But I want to be clear. The thermos that I have that I bring my own coffee in, when I say I pour it in there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and if I go pick that thermos up at 5 o'clock this evening, that joker is still piping hot, smoke coming out. It's stupid.
Yeah.
That's quality.
Yes, just like if I must, just take a second. For my birthday, Lakeisha bought me a new Cuisinart coffee maker, and it's the single cup and the carafe. And if I make coffee when I leave at 5 o'clock, because I make coffee around 4:30, 5 o'clock, the coffee is piping hot. Like you can put cream in it and cold cream out the refrigerator and it still stays hot. But I can get off the radio, do my show, go home, and that coffee is still hot for 4 hours. And it's hot just like it was when it came out the pot. When I tell you there is nothing like having quality products. Oh my God.
Not as a form of endorsement, but what brand?
Well, that's Cuisinart.
No, I mean the thermos bottle.
Oh, it's actually called Thermos. I think it's called Thermos, yes. And when I say like, yeah, this is what you do, this is what you take, this was the inauguration thermos. So I so appreciated it. And just as a quick side note, when I was having the conversation the other day about that many of the purses that go to the Coach outlet are made for the factory, for the factory outlets. Someone else, hit me up about like pots and pans. I'm big on pots and pans. Calphalon is one of my favorite brands. And they were like, so the Calphalon that goes to second tier stores is not the same Calphalon that's sold in Williams and Sonoma. Or, somebody said the KitchenAid mixer that you get from Walmart, not the same quality as the KitchenAid mixer you get from a top tier store.
Well, what about the one I got at the rummage sale?
Wait, say what now?
I got KitchenAid at the rummage sale.
Oh. No, because depending on who you got it from, like I know
it was
Keisha,
them people. Because I only go to them people's rummage sales. I don't go to you people's rummage sales.
What kind of? Oh, you out of order. You're racist. You're racist. You're out of order. Oh
I
my
go
God.
to them people, but I don't go to you.
Oh man, you are out of order.
I'm just saying, because Jermaine tried to come for me right away.
People. Oh,
Jermaine tried to insinuate.
Oh, you done said it. Somebody insinuate.
No, he was trying to say it was like no tier. The one I got, because he just sure I had got it from you people,
You know what?
But I got it from them people.
He did not. You did that. You did that. Don't blame that on nobody else. But I know one of Keisha's.
But it had all the stuff. I could make sausages. I could do all of that.
Yeah, like she got a real older, much older KitchenAid model that got like all of the pieces. Yeah. But her auntie, I think it's her auntie that bought it, and then she got it from her. Man, when I say that's the industrial.
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't even want to know how much that thing cost when they originally bought it, and it works just like anything you get ready to buy today. So yeah, I just want to say it was funny that a number of people hit me up. They was like, hey, why are you talking about them purses? You need to talk about this other stuff. Talk about this other stuff too. But let me say good morning to the bros. What's up, Clark? My man. Mr. Rideout, how you doing this morning? Don't take no long time.
There you go.
Don't take no long time.
Boy, when you take that pause in between when you ask him and when he finally responds.
Don't take no long time.
There you go.
You
Nah, I was
grease up
just
your
saying-
lips and look like you're ready to talk. Don't
You
take
know,
no long time.
Breathe up.
It ain't nothing like having margarine on your
Yesterday
lips.
I had to tell man, hey, bro, drop something on them.
Hey, well, that's why I stayed ahead of the game. So you wouldn't have to tell me to lube my lips.
Here looking like his mama got him ready for school this morning. Your mama be like rubbing your face all hard, like, dang, why you rubbing my skin off?
So when your mama lick her finger,
Yeah.
wipe your face.
In order
And you
of
never realize how nasty that was.
Until you get over
Right. You felt special when mama
take
did
her
that.
spit and wipe your
You
face.
realized she was spreading.
did you just hawk and put something on my face?
Come here, be still, boy. Let me get that.
All out your eyes.
Yeah. You like, hey, if you had just did your job and washed my face like
There's some learning
No,
curves.
I wouldn't say that.
My grandmother, if I didn't comb my hair right, she would comb it.
Oh, you
You
don't
didn't want that. She
No.
coming from the back to the front. One stroke.
Pulling you all the way. Yeah, I know that, Cole. I know that.
I seen a cat the other day, man, still combing his hair to the front.
Oh, it's a couple
I
bros
had
do
to
that.
light him up. I was like,
It's
dude,
a
I know you're not.
It's a
Still
couple
combing your hair to
bros.
the front.
Look, I can call their name. It's a couple
Name
bros.
one, name one.
Right?
Name one. I call one D Walker. D Walker. Combing his hair to the front.
That is hilarious.
I said, man, you cut your hair.
You got order for that.
My barber cut my hair to the front.
Fire him,
I
Jack.
guess he do if you comb it to the front.
Fire that cat.
Like, and I couldn't figure out like if you try to comb over a bald spot or something. But I do know. And this one brother, he been combing his hair to the front since we was in our 30s.
Oh
20s.
my God.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
ain't
certain look when you
ain't
comb your hair to
nobody
the front.
told you that look crazy.
It's mighty
But
funny. how
okay,
they were
Jermaine.
saying they didn't want me to take too much time and just left me on the bus stop.
Because our commentary
Oh.
is substantial.
Oh, okay. Well,
What
Shell,
you be doing?
you know, I'm doing pretty good.
And yeah,
people.
Phoenix, we see you hold it.
Yeah. Happy Vaseline
And
Day.
when we do finally call you, don't talk crazy because we see you on hold. So yeah, just so you know, while you sit in your car, we see you on hold. Go ahead.
You know, Shell,
Mm.
when it's cold outside,
When it's cold
Who are you
outside.
holding?
who are you holding?
Oh, we doing that one.
I knew that's where it was.
We doing that one. How that one go?
When it's cold outside, who are you holding?
Okay.
You be holding me. Well.
You done? Can I move on?
You know, I
Yeah,
can't
'cause
be
he
in two
don't,
places
he,
at
don't,
one
he
time.
don't know the next word.
Oh,
so
yeah, I
just
do.
move right along. What's the
Because I
next
say
word?
What's the next word?
Okay, here we go.
Go ahead.
When it's cold outside,
Go ahead.
who are you holding?
Uh-huh.
You be holding me.
Mm-hmm.
Well. See, can I talk about this woman I got? Always talking about the things she ain't got. But I can't be in two places.
No, you left out
Hold
something.
on. Always talk about this woman. Let me talk about this woman I got.
She's always complaining
Always
about.
complaining about the things she ain't got and what her friends got.
There you go.
But baby, I can't be in two places at one time. So if you think you're lonely now, Debo,
I ain't gonna be a part of that.
oh, you ain't gonna join in?
Wait until
That's it.
tonight, girl.
So I'm done. God bless you. Good to see you. Always great. And when you wear that hat,
Oh, shit.
God, dog, your hair just does something. I'm out of there.
I love it. What up, Debo?
Hey.
How you doing this morning?
I am grateful that he is done. Good morning, and let's move on.
Let's go to Arizona. Pick up the phone.
Happy
He don't want
Day.
nothing. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Say it again.
Hey, caller, what's happening?
You got a grin on your face. You got a grin on your face.
Is that what you call here for? You called all the way from Arizona to say that?
No, happy Vaseline damn day.
Look, you talking to Jermaine today.
Yeah, Doc, I'm out here greasy, man. I'm lubed up.
That thermos, man, I'm gonna tell you, I leave that thing overnight in my car in the summertime, and I still have ice in it. That thing is the truth.
Yeah, you got that right.
I'm talking about the full ice cubes, not halfway melted. I'm talking about like I just put them I'm talking about like I just put them joints in there like a few minutes ago, and I go in my car shaking up, sound like a Tic Tac box. I said, man, that ice, man, that water be on fire. I'm telling you.
That's why I tell people, because a lot of people buy the brand by Yeti. That's like supposed to be the Cadillac of them all. But I'm like, that Yeti price, that's a real number. You know,
that's a real number.
Huh?
That's a real number.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Yeah, Yeti. I think like they tumblers is like $65.
Really?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, there's a guy in my job who don't have no refrigerator. That's just how he lives. He go get ice every couple weeks. He has a Yeti
cooler.
What do you call it? Cooler. And it keeps it cool. I mean, it keeps the ice like that for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. Yeti is the business. But you gon' man, that number. Ooh. I'm like,
yeah, I ain't finna pay $70 for no cup, and the stuff in it ain't even no liquor in there, nothing for $70.
And just like somebody hit me and said, Michelle, what is a Yeti cooler running? Yeti cooler run like $275.
Right, yeah.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely pay more, but like,
the low tier.
Yeah, but you know, depending on the size you get, and if you got the little pull-up cart thing with the rope, but no.
Yeah, because the cup is gonna cost you $40-$50, so you think the cooler gonna cost you $4 or something like that, a good one.
Yeah, nah. And like I said, I know a bunch of people that they rock Yeti, but I'm like, man, that thermos is the business too. So
yes, and it take a beating too, man. I done dropped that thing so many times off some stuff, man. It definitely takes a beating, though.
I feel like I can go hunting with that joke. Stay out there for a while.
That's one of the ones you like. You want me to go upside your head with this little thermos?
Pumpkin head him with the thermos thing.
Man, I'm telling you, it's gonna make the noise like a bat.
Leave lumps on.
He's so ridiculous. What else going on, man?
Man, that's what's going on. That's about it. It's 58 degrees. It's a little cold out here. You dig?
Is it
cold?
A
little cold. 58.
A little cold. All right.
Yeah, a little cold.
You just
really, dude off the phone.
Yeah, I mean, hang up on him, man. He just
like
Bye, Arizona. And speaking of Arizona, what's up, Shelby? How you doing this morning, sis? Tell my little man I said good morning. All right, y'all. A number of things to get to. I do have guests coming in, and the 8:00 hour. Milwaukee County is coming in. But just a litany of things that have gone on since the last time we talked. First and foremost, the vote that happened on yesterday regarding the Epstein files. Understand that, yes, in the House of Representatives, that vote was dang near unanimous. Only one legislator voted against releasing the Epstein files. And that was a legislator from Louisiana. He claimed under the guise of, protecting the victims and protecting innocent people whose names just happened to get caught up in the files. He wanted to make sure that was, dealt with. His name is Clay Higgins. He like, boy, gone, stop playing with people. But he was the only one in the entire House of Representatives that did not vote for the release of the Epstein files in the Senate. And I didn't expect it to go to the Senate yesterday. It was dispatched over immediately. The Senate voted on it yesterday. By 5-6 o'clock, the news was breaking that the Senate had voted it out of the Senate for it to be signed. The thing that was interesting about the Senate, initially they were going to do just a vote where you don't have to vote individually. I can't think of it right now, but you don't have to vote individually. And then they decided, no, do roll call and let everybody have to be on record as what they, how they were voting on this. Because see, they need to go back to their constituents and be able to say, I voted for this to be released. And if you do it the other way, then, it's just one big consensus. But no, they wanted to be on the record via voice vote. Yep, I voted for it or I voted against it. So that bill has now gone to Trump's desk. And Trump has told people that he was going to sign it. So they're saying when they talked to some of his people yesterday that he could sign it as soon as today. They are not sure, sometime this week. The question, though, that many people are now raising is, so we understand procedurally where we are, but does DOJ have to comply? What does that compliance look like? What has been redacted or altered? And can you trust the process?
And that's what I was about to ask you. By Trump flipping and now saying, go ahead and release, we have nothing to hide. They have had 300 and some odd days to go through. If they was to go through and hide names and scratch out names, you have had time to do that. And especially with the shutdown, you've had time to work undercover and do this stuff. So now for him to turn and say, hey, you know what? Release it. We have nothing to hide. It's all Democrat.
And on one thing too, I think, because that certainly is a train of thought. The other being that, because he was fighting this thing up until this past weekend.
Right.
He done brought in folks into the situation room to try to figure out how to head this off. And he thought he was going to be able to pressure people and turn them around. So up until this past weekend, he was thinking that he was going to be able to stop this.
Or
what he also realized is that you can get embarrassed because the majority of Republicans are getting ready to vote to release it. And basically that's going to be a pushback to you publicly in your face. He didn't want to be seen as the Republicans breaking ranks with him because the Republicans have been supporting him.
Right.
For the most part, the overwhelming majority of Republicans, they was on this is a hoax, this is a Democrat issue. They was sucking up his talking points. Mike Johnson intentionally kept the House of Representatives from meeting so that they didn't have to deal with this.
Right.
They didn't bring that woman in who had gotten elected, who they thought was going to be the 218th vote because they didn't want to deal with this.
Right.
So they was trying to give Trump cover. But then the pressure from their constituents got to be so much. And then it didn't help that some of the survivors said, you do know we have our own names, right? So either y'all release them or we going to release what we have.
Right.
So then you got that additional pressure being turned up. Trump didn't want to get embarrassed because he wants to look like he got a stronghold over the Republican Party. This would have been a clear and definitive moment that they had broke ranks with him.
So I hear him say a lot that this is a Democrat issue. But as I was thinking and then I started looking up some stuff, I noticed that he was a Democrat from 2000 something to 2009 is when he switched parties, right?
He was a registered Democrat for a period of about 8 years.
Yeah, from 2001 to 2009.
Early 2000s.
And so this is when the whole Epstein and all of this stuff, hanging with him. And he was saying that all of Epstein's friends was Democrats. Well, fool, you was a Democrat.
I mean, but the sad part is that he's mentioned all throughout Epstein's own notes, emails. There are photographs. It's like, Donald, stop. I mean, like, you get tired of trying to even push back on the amount of lies that this man tells. It was so crazy. I was watching footage last night. A Republican, I see his face, but I can't think of his name right now. He was on a talk show and he was trying to tell people that, this is Biden's fault in terms of Epstein. Merrick Garland didn't go after Jeff Epstein, just all this stuff. And the journalist or the anchor that they were talking to, he was like, you do know Merrick Garland was not the attorney general when this Epstein case, when this stuff was going through the process, right? This happened under Trump. You do know that. And the legislator, he was just sitting there like, that crazy look on his face because you don't have an answer. He was like, no, I'm right about this. He said, no, you're not right, sir. You're not right. Like, you got the totally wrong, different administration, wrong attorney general. You on here literally because you spouting other people's talking points and you did not go and verify them for yourself, which is what one of the callers to this show on a regular basis does. You hear other people's talking points. You don't go research this information for yourself before you get out here and you start regurgitating this nonsense. And people who have done their homework then can sit back and look at you and be like, that's not how that happened.
So I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
When the Democrats had the floor, had the Senate in the House, why didn't they release this Epstein file?
So first of all, you got to go back to the original prosecutions and the way certain things were done, because this goes back to Jesus
So was it
Christ.
2005 or something?
Yeah, I mean, like this goes back easily 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So you've had a number of administrations that in some way, shape, or form have had some touch points with this case.
Right.
But depending on the deals that got negotiated, that may have been negotiated by another administration. And then when you come into play, now we're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell's prosecution. That happens on Biden's watch. Okay. And so when people try to paint the picture, nobody cared, the Democrats didn't do anything. Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail under Biden's, administration. Epstein gets convicted under Trump's administration.
What, 2019?
But the early cases that go back to Florida, when he was first getting hemmed up and caught up, you have people that were at that level that are now in the federal government that cut sweetheart deals for this man. And that's that's what a lot of the folks are saying, that are survivors and people connected to this thing. We don't just want the males and it seemed like it was primarily men, the male perpetrators. We want the people involved in government who swept this under the rug as well.
Yeah.
The prosecutors, Alex Acosta, who gave sweetheart deals to Epstein. Like right now, Ghislaine Maxwell, what they say, she's sitting in the jail, minimum security with a pen with puppies. Yeah. To myself, a comfort dog or whatever, security, whatever the title is. But people are saying, no, we need to look at everybody that's caught up in this. And I'm telling you, it's going to impact if the truth is ever fully told. Some of us may not be around to see it. It will hem up Republicans. It will hem up Democrats. Yeah. It will hem up independents. Yeah. Just like the man that's the professor at Harvard University who has now said, I'm stepping back from public commitments because his name is associated.
Yeah, because he was saying something about his wife. I guess he was married. Well, he's married and now something going on.
Yeah, he was messing around on his wife.
Yeah,
looking for dates and how do I meet women and all this old foolishness. So now, I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna step back. It's gonna touch everybody because the one thing that you can be sure of is freaks in every walk of life.
Yes, it is.
There is a podcaster who had the audacity to say, we're not talking about 5-year-old kids. We're talking about 15-year-olds, as if it's okay for grown 30, 40-year-old men to have sex with a 15-year-old child.
Unbelievable.
And literally said, should we be calling them pedophiles because the age of the girls was 15? Everybody that's listening to my voice, you either have had a 15-year-old, you've been around a 15-year-old, a 15-year-old. There are reasons why we don't let 15-year-olds have car driver's licenses. Mm-hmm. You can learn how to drive, but you're not being put on the road by yourself. We don't let 15-year-olds join the military. We don't let 15-year-olds open their own bank account independent of parents. There are reasons why we have all these things attached to age because we understand cognitive development and, what people are capable of at certain, numerical points in their life, age points in their life. So we know that. So for people to twist and I always say that, my phrase, twist themselves in knots to try to justify stuff because it's your God. One of the things I say all the time, your friends tell you the truth. Yeah. That dress look crazy. You was out of order for what you said. That wasn't right. You need to revisit what you are doing. Your friends will tell you the truth. They will tell you the truth. So that's one aspect. The other thing that I want to get in real quick before we go to break is Marjorie Taylor Greene, now with her newfound support of these women. But watching her on the microphone yesterday talking about basically how she has been Donald Trump's ride or die for 5 years and has stood up for him in points when nobody else was publicly willing to stand with him. And now she is receiving death threats because of her willingness to vote for the Epstein files release, because she has pushed back against Trump publicly on this issue. And like literally this look in this woman's face as she realizes that Donald Trump is on the other end of the spectrum telling people, I don't believe anybody is trying to harm her. I don't believe anybody even cares enough about her to do anything to her. So mocking and making fun of the death threats that she's saying she's received. And she has this look on her face of complete disillusionment and astonishment that I have been your ride or die. How are you treating me this way?
Yeah, that's like almost like
But
just
it's
having a friend that you've been down with, that you've been looking out for, and then
but,
they flip
but,
on you.
But
Like,
again,
how could you do me
the
like
thing that's so laughable about it all is, Marjorie,
that? Yeah,
you didn't know this dude personally when you was out here co-signing and vouching for him.
yeah,
And a lot of stuff that you co-signed on was some nonsense.
yeah.
It was out of order. It was garbage. He was dead wrong. And you was his ride or die. When you was disrespecting, you know, Barack Obama and other elected officials on behalf of Trump and making a clown show out of yourself. I mean, disrespecting Biden, you know, that was, you were showing your behind. So first of all, when you run with dogs, you get fleas.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you run with thieves, there is no, honor among thieves these days. But Donald Trump has proven time and time again, his theme song need to be Michael Jackson's They Don't Really Care About Us. Because Donald Trump don't give nay damn about nobody. Not Republicans, not white supremacists, not his kids, not his wives, not his sister. When she was alive, Donald Trump only cares about Donald Trump. And your usefulness for him is only as good as what you can do for him. And when you are no longer useful to him, he will show you the door. And he won't just show you the door, he will kick your butt out of it. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is now standing there looking like a fool because, oh my God, I can't believe he did it. Somebody just hit me up and said, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not to be trusted. Of course she's not. Jasmine Crockett just let Jake Tapper convince her to say on the air, Marjorie Taylor Greene is full of you know what? And she used the word on the air because she was like, all of this care was not extended to Nancy Pelosi's husband when that man went in that house and beat that man. The Minnesota lawmakers that end up being killed, her husband and her wife, no outpouring of sympathy. We got to do better. We got to be better. Charlie Kirk's death, okay, now we want to start singing from a different hymnal. But then when the threats come to your door, and let me be clear, the threats are not coming from Democrats. The threats are not coming from crazy Black folks. The threats are not coming from crazy progressives and liberals. It's coming from within her own party. These is Republicans that's threatening Marjorie Taylor Greene because how dare you break ranks with our cult leader? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So, no, don't nobody feel sorry for her. Hey, you don't want to see nobody get hurt, but you live by the sword. You're going to die by it. You're going to die by it. I need to take a break. Callers, I see y'all. I'll get you as soon as I come back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. That's why I don't run with shady people. I'll be right back, y'all.
AURN News. A bipartisan effort in Congress is moving forward to crack down on illicit Chinese vapes entering the United States. Lawmakers from both parties say the
Welcome back to the show. Sorry it took me a minute in the break. I was watching a video. I saw Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago on television yesterday, and a number of other Chicago leaders talking about an incident that I had not actually seen the video footage for, and my colleagues were able to share it with me this morning. And it is so disturbing that I'm gonna break from what I was doing to take a moment to talk about this. There is a viral video of a Chicago mother who appears to be pregnant, who is walking with her young children. These kids look like they might be between first grade. It's two children between first grade and maybe third grade, fourth grade, that they are walking, and a group of elementary looking school age children, maybe middle school at the very latest, but only one or two looked old enough to be in middle school. Most of them were elementary age school students. And they start, I don't know what, precipitated the interaction, but the mother and her two children. Okay, so it says her son is 9 years old. So that's usually what, third grade, fourth grade. Yeah. The mother and her children are seen in the video walking. So somebody's recording this whole thing. Seen in the video walking. And the mother is 33 years old. As they are walking, this group of kids start following them. And at some point, they are talking to her, and the mother backs up against a fence. Her children are trying to protect her. Her oldest child is actually leaning over his mother's stomach because, again, she looks pregnant, in the footage. And the mother is just against the fence, like engaging these kids, like, what's going on? And then at some point, some of the kids, led by girls, start rushing the mother and punching and beating and kicking the mother. At some point, they all come in and start beating and attacking this woman. She gets separated from her children. They attack her children, throw her children, body slam her children down into the ground. This woman has on a hairpiece. They snatch it off her head and are fighting this woman and attacking this woman. And none of these kids look like they're older than 13 years old. Now, let me be clear. We've had a similar situation in Milwaukee years ago when the gentleman was in the alley. No, that's on no side. Mm-hmm. The gentleman was in his alley, and this group of kids came up on him. They said that the ringleader was 10 years old. What? And they started attacking and beating this man. Now, I don't remember if that man died, but they beat an older man in his alley coming to his car. So let me be clear, before we start talking about, look at these damn badass kids in Chicago, we done had them, we've had it here in Milwaukee. I just want to say that. But y'all, this video is so freaking disturbing. Unbelievable. In the pit of my stomach. And you trying to figure out, and like, the woman is not no big woman. She's a small woman. In fact, she almost looked like a kid herself because she's slim. She's not that tall. And so it was much easier for them to get her than it would have been for them to get me. I tell everybody all the time, I keep a little weight on me for a reason. I ain't gonna never be nobody you can toss real easy.
You ain't gonna what?
Yeah, what?
Never. You said never.
You won't never have no easy time tossing me.
Walk with a big stick.
I'm just saying. And so when you look at this video, you don't know whether to cry or and they said that the woman said, I didn't do the type of fighting back I could have because one of the older children, they said they believe a 14-year-old had a gun on him. Man. But they would have had to use it.
Listen, Shell, first of all.
But and I just want to know, and they said there was one parent who did see her child in the video.
Yep. I got the video.
You got the video of that?
Yeah.
And the parent, basically told her child, they looking for you and I'm not going to help you. But I just want to just see the parents of these kids. And what y'all, you got it? Is it cursing in it?
No.
you, right? You and your little friends. Because you was wrong yesterday. You was wrong. And you was gonna jump somebody.
We can't play it. It's not picking it up good. Text it to me. I said, yeah. But this mama, and she just, on the video, and she's like, the whole city of Chicago is looking for you, right?
That's that third tier phone he got.
You were wrong. And she just warning him, like, I'm not getting ready to help you. But no, I would have been like,
turn him in.
Damn, the whole city of Chicago looking for you. I'm looking for you, right? Yeah. And when you run up to me, when you catch up with me, you little boy or little girl, whoever it is,
you got a problem.
You got a problem.
Oh my God!
You better hope the police find you before I find you.
This was the thing, Shell. I got to pull up the video when the community went to the neighborhood where the kids lived at. It was about 40 or 50 people.
Okay.
Went to the house looking for the mother of the kids because they said that the grandmama of
the mother of the kids who were attacking.
Yes, the mother of the kids that was attacking the other lady. They went to the projects looking for the mother because they say that she got put out of that place, but she was over there squatting.
Okay.
So she really didn't have nowhere to live. So they went to where they knew to where she was his last. That is about 40, 50 people. Then they marched up to the school where the mother was taking the kids to the school at. They marched up to the school and was shouting, shut it down. Shut the school down. She asked for some help and they didn't help her.
She went to the school and they
So the mother who was being attacked,
yes, went to the school
for some help
and they didn't help her.
So when they say they didn't help her, I mean, does that mean that they called the police but they wouldn't open the door for her?
I was told something like she was requesting a meeting and they told her the principal was in a meeting.
Yep, and it was always busy, so they wouldn't see her. So she would go up there for a meeting and they kept pushing her off.
So it sounds like something ongoing.
Yep. Yep. So about 40, 50 people marched up there, went up to the school and was protesting, shut it down. It was to the point that I saw news cameras out there, all type of stuff. So it was on the news down there.
Well, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna reach out to my girl, Cleopatra, who does VON in Chicago. See if I can get an interview with her tomorrow or Monday to understand from a local level what's happening and what else is the backstory to this whole thing. But whatever was going on, for these children to feel that empowered and emboldened that they will walk behind a grown woman again because she got on like a bodysuit thing, so she clearly looks pregnant because she's a small woman.
Yeah.
And so that you had no regard, and when the woman went down, they stomped her.
I know.
Yep.
They stomped that lady,
snatched her hair out.
But my thing is this: all of this stuff that these kids have done is learned behavior. Where are you learning this stuff from? What are you watching? What seed has been planted into these kids?
That's why
you would think that it's okay, and then you filming it.
Yeah.
You filming it.
Right.
So all of this stuff, you are doing what you see adults do. People that are older than you, they filming stuff. They running up on people. They fighting
from school.
They all need to.
You shouldn't be able to be in a classroom with my grandchild, with my kids. They all need to be put out. Let your mamas and daddies. Yeah, and they all need to actually end up being in juvie somewhere because you could have killed that woman's baby.
Could have killed her.
Yeah, and I mean the way they were stomping on her, you definitely could have killed that baby. And even if you didn't kill that mom, but it was madness, man.
But this is the thing, Shell.
I just can't believe that video.
You don't know if a person have health issues that they can't bleed because if they start bleeding that they can die. So if you beating on this person and hitting on this person and they start bleeding, it could take.
Look how they slammed the one kid in the street.
The baby, that 9-year-old.
Anything. And for you to do that and they on camera and they but you doing all of this for likes. You want to get clicks and likes.
And then what did I say? This ties into the conversation yesterday about the situation that happened over at King Middle School.
Yeah.
Because we sending our kids out here, you don't understand always and appreciate what you sending your children into. What's the mental health condition of these other children, who they being raised by, the mindsets of these kids. And that's why I said that whole, if they hit you, you better whoop them and you better fight them back. you got to understand some of the stuff that you putting your kids in harm's way sometimes, because this woman was fighting 10, 12 kids. And they was following her down the street like she was seeing a movie.
It would have been
like,
bowling pins.
what is going on?
It would have been bowling pins.
But yeah, it's some parents would have been coming get your kid from the mall.
Off the ground.
They would have had to go.
Trying to tell you.
They would have had to go.
No, I ain't playing.
I mean, and to see them was her children terrified. They knew what was about to happen.
Disrespect.
Eyes tearing up with water. They knew what was happening. And that baby, that 9-year-old, that baby got in front of his mama and wrapped his arms around her waist and basically was shielding her belly from them kids jumping on her.
Do you know mentally that can do something to that 9-year-old?
Oh, come on now.
He gonna
be
he's
he's a different kid.
So either
he's now a different kid.
Either he's gonna embrace that violence or he's gonna do something to try to stop it.
Yeah.
But either way, he's
been changed. He's been changed. And that other child was so young, God only knows. So it ties in to exactly what we were talking about yesterday, and trying to get parents and people to understand the environments that we are putting our children in, that this isn't the old days when our grandparents said, somebody said it started because her son was being bullied.
Yeah. So she was trying to, and it's like for me, man, I have a grandson that goes, he, like, I just can't imagine I just can't.
They said the person who said that the grandson, that the child was being bullied, they said the child was being bullied for 2 years.
I just can't.
If they can prove that, they need to go straight after CPS.
I just can't imagine, because
it scares you to death. And like literally, me and my son, we had these conversations. We joke about it, but there's always an element of truth to it, because of the type of kid that I see my grandson being.
Yeah, smart, intelligent.
Yeah, so you're not using this old hood ghetto street vernacular. You ain't been exposed to a whole bunch of violence and drama. Don't nobody in your house cuss, and talk all ignorant. Your interests are different. It's just a lot about Atlas that can make Atlas a target if you in the wrong environment. And so I had been telling my son, like, hey, put that boy in boxing classes, and we got to teach him how to read the room, so that if this feels uncomfortable, how to get yourself out of it.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about that at 6 years old.
Yeah.
But I started calling this out at 4 and 3.
Yeah.
This gonna be a problem depending on where he is.
Yeah.
Right now, he is in a district where a lot of the kids are smart.
Yeah.
And they come from solid households and people living, in a way that is decent and in order, in the way you're supposed to live, kids not being cussed at and talked to all abusively. So he's in a good environment. The likelihood is that he will always be, in terms of his living situation, in that environment.
Sure.
Okay. Do we know why?
Well, we can go to break it.
Okay, but he always, will be in that environment in terms of his education. But when you step out of that environment, you just kicking it now. You at the mall now. You going to somebody's set or whatever.
Yeah.
That this child has a target on his back.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't have to worry about your children in this way.
Exactly.
But people don't appreciate and understand when you, as a parent, are not doing your job, or you so hood and ratchet that you think that this is what parenting is supposed to look like, and this is the way you are supposed to behave. Okay, cool. You think that this is the way people are supposed to behave. This is how it manifests itself. This is how we see it in the streets. Y'all, this is a sickening story.
Did something
it has brought tears to people's eyes all across this country. I know. It is a sickening story.
It's unbelievable. It's
but
as a parent,
you're right, Jermaine. This mess started at the house.
Yeah.
It's
The fact that these kids will do that, this started at the house.
yeah, and it's
So when y'all making them Christmas gift purchases, pay attention to what you buying.
Yeah.
The trash you bringing in your house.
Yeah.
What you paying for Roblox and these little gift cards and these kids getting these violent, ignorant behind games. Make sure you understand what you let your child be exposed to. I got kids that's 11 years old that can run down some of the most grimiest movies ever.
Yeah.
And your mama let you watch that?
Exactly.
And let you watch it with no context, no discussion, so what did you see? So what was right, what was wrong?
Yeah.
You know, these kids watch and do anything. So you're on this 100%. The parents of them kids need to go to jail.
Yeah, they do, man.
Yeah, like what you doing?
So I think that if the legal system start holding parents accountable for some of this stuff, some of the stuff that they allow their kids to do, watch, whatever, they'll be more on point with, okay, because I don't want to face 2 years in jail. I don't want to do this because you made a. And as a parent, you are responsible for that child until a certain age.
Look, and somebody just hit me up, and on the flip side of that piece, the story that, and I saw it, I was going to try to work it in today, but I do have a guest come in for the 8 o'clock hour. But the police have arrested a 39-year-old paraprofessional over at Riverside University High School, saying that the man struck a student with intellectual and physical disabilities on November 12th. Shirley and Tyrone Dunn said the student is their 18-year-old daughter, Shrone, who has cerebral palsy and cognitive delays.
Wow.
When she gets to where she doesn't want to do, she sits on the floor, said her mom, who said she saw security video of the incident. He did pick her up, slam her in the chair first, and then he slapped her.
What?
Milwaukee police booking records show they arrested a paraprofessional on November 13th for a charge of battery to someone physically impaired. And Riverside sent a letter to family shortly after the incident. Today, we received a report of a staff member allegedly slapping a student. And I don't know why the hell y'all talking about allegedly. You had the video. Riverside, NPS trying to CYA. How do you say allegedly when you had the damn video? Y'all didn't stop playing. The mother was talking about the child doesn't want to come to school, doesn't want to go near the school. She's fearful. The father, talked about the fact that he's pissed because that's my little girl, that's my princess. Police have referred charges to the Milwaukee DA. But just like, what kind of man are you? What kind of adult are you? What kind of person are you that you see a child who is physically disabled, cerebral palsy, and cognitively delayed, and you pick this child up, slam her into a chair, and then as a grown adult man, you slap this child. And yes, the student is 18, but still. How does that happen?
So
how does that happen?
So as a parent, how do you supposed to handle that situation?
Well, you gotta let the police handle it. Because if you handle it yourself, it's gonna end wrong. And your child who needs you, it won't have you because you're gonna be in jail. Because if you try to handle it yourself, so you just sue the district getting ready to pay. They are getting ready to pay, which means taxpayers are getting ready to pay because they gonna sue the district. Yeah, they got the video.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna sue the district. The district gonna have to pay, which means that the taxpayers are gonna have to pay. But I just want to say to the sorry man who hit that child with a disability, bruh, what was you thinking?
He wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't.
What was you clearly had no business in a school at all. We got so many issues as a community that we need to address. All right, y'all. I gotta take a break before my guests come on. Let me see if Get at least one of these callers. Let me see if, and caller, if you can, make it quick for me. But I know otherwise I'm gonna go straight into my guest. So let me go to the phone line. Hey caller, what's happening?
Sorry, Michelle. I
Hi.
just wanted to ask about Chicago. Would you think this is a great time for Mayor Johnson to use this as taking away resources out the schools so that these children can have things to do instead of going around and terrorizing adults? Did he take that opportunity to say, all of the after school programs, et cetera, are stripped away from the district and this is what we're left with, or this is not that type of an incident? These are just monsters.
I mean, no, I think you always get to make the case about how when we neglect to give a child a well-rounded situation, that you can create problems, and whether those are problems created at the school because of decisions made by the school, or problems created in the household. So yeah, it's an opportunity to talk about it, but I definitely wouldn't lean hard into it because
Okay.
The poorest kids deprived of all the resources still don't do
Don't do
this.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say at 7, I don't remember being bullied in school. And then I dare for sure didn't have the guts to beat up a parent.
Man, that's
Like,
unreal.
And like I said,
y'all
and
didn't have
you can
no
literally
fear.
see this lady look pregnant.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that's
just
the
the
other
fact that you're
part.
walking with your mom. I wouldn't dare start yelling at my meanest enemy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Nah,
what is going on? So that the cell phones, they was laughing and caulking at her shoes and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like my child's not getting a cell phone, so they're probably 20 years old, because these are habits that's being mimicked. And at the end of the day, it's put them in a church retreat or put them in juvie something. Something needs to be made an example of these children.
All right.
Thank you,
Michelle.
Michelle.
I appreciate it. All right, family. Let me go to break and let me get my guest brought in. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Look, if I can pick it back up, I will. I'm getting a ton of text messages about this. Yeah, it was disgusting. It was, and people are now turning in and watching the video, and they I literally had somebody who literally crying on my Facebook message box.
So me, I was sitting right here in tears.
I was going to tell you, Michelle, I'm removing myself. You've been asking for this. I'm going to remove myself from the morning show. I can't take it.
Yeah,
it's a bit much. I mean,
you're gonna remove yourself and go where?
I don't know.
Outside.
Trying to hear
I can't take it. I mean,
no, seriously, man, I'm with you.
Yeah, it was another story that you spoke to. I mean, it's. I guess you can't hide from it. You can't run from it. It's just amazing that it could happen, though.
I mean, to me, this is that moment. Like when I said Tony Neal talking about because somebody was twerking at a funeral. I'm not voting. I'm out. Like you don't get to run from it. How do we clean it up? How do we talk about it? How do we address it? How do we fix it? That's why I tell people all the time. It's easy for me to move way out into another neighborhood, another community, folks that don't look like my folks. But if all of us walk away from these things, it never gets fixed. It only gets worse. Somebody got to stay.
So that's your way of asking me to stay on the
No, that's my way of saying you ain't going nowhere. That's it. I ain't asking. I'm not asking. Yep, I know y'all. People hit me up to my Cavalier veto stuff in the budget.
Yeah, the fire trucks. He said, no.
Look, I knew when he was at when he was at the live remote that it's some vetoes about to happen. Like, when I asked him about it, he had this little look on his face like, stay tuned. All right, y'all, I'll be right back. Hey, family, welcome back to the show. I just want to say the struggle is real. We're here fighting with these chairs, trying to get situated. And then Sheriff Ball, first of all, super tall. She just, everybody else, when they sit in that chair, they sink down to the floor. Sheriff Ball's like, this is very comfortable.
Don't hate.
I'm sorry. What's the problem, ladies? And then we got Andrea and Jackie in here fighting for their life with these chairs. That's why I sit in a totally different chair. Welcome back to the show. I told you I was going to have guests in the studio. So for folks that are regular listeners to the show, you know that we have an ongoing relationship with Milwaukee County. We bring folks in. Jackie Zeladon over at the Office of Equity identifies partners in different departments to bring in to talk about issues impacting the community. So we had a couple of moments where we didn't have guests in September. And Jackie's out skiing and I guess breaks a foot or something, and so everybody else got to suffer because now she got to have surgery or get back on track. But we are back in the building together. And what we're going to do is go back and grab a topic from September that had we had the pleasure of having the folks from the county in, we would have had an opportunity to discuss. And let me tell you, first of all, why this is important. So September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. One of the things that when we pulled up initial data, and look, we know all the time, and it is something that we combat in our community on a regular basis, Black folks don't kill themselves. We don't commit suicide. This is not what we do. We've seen incidents, high profile incidents. A young brother was found hanging from a tree at a university. I forgot, not Morgan State. I'll think of it
like Delta.
Delta State University. And, we immediately become suspicious about what is going on. We've had other incidences of high profile hangings, if you will, and it is inconceivable to many of us that we would commit suicide. That is based on stereotypes, misinformation, folks not honestly talking about things that have gone on in their families, and folks, quite frankly, being in denial. So that's number one. I want to preface the comments by saying that. I want folks to also understand that when I looked at some data, and some of this is from 2023, but it said that on average, one person dies by suicide every 11 minutes in this country. Leading cause of death, suicide is the second leading cause of death for individuals between the ages of 10 and 34. The fourth leading cause of death for people ages 35 to 44. Again, inconceivable that a 10-year-old child could view taking their own life as their only solution to whatever the problem is that they are facing. In 2023, an estimated 12.8 million U.S. adults had serious thoughts of suicide. 3.7 million actually made a plan, and 1.5 million attempted to take their lives. So when we talk about why this conversation is relevant, and there was a need to go back and grab, the folks that are doing the work in Milwaukee County on this issue, it was so important to bring it forward. Just a couple of other quick things I'll say. Males die by suicide at a rate nearly 4 times higher than females. Race and ethnicity, that piece that I brought up, non-Hispanic American, Indian, Alaska Native people had the highest rate of suicide, followed by non-Hispanic white people. The means that are often used, firearms, and over half of all suicide deaths in 2023 at least. And the other thing that was crazy to me, they even looked at the occupation of folks that had been committing suicide. And they found that in the mining and construction industries, that they had a particularly high rate of suicide. Sexual orientation also comes in as factors when people talk about it. One of the things that I will say is that I was a part of working with Senator Taylor's office as there was a special line put in for young people that were LGBTQ to deal with suicide prevention, because having people who understood the unique circumstances that these young people faced, we thought it was a great idea for people to have. And we actually watched the current administration come in and basically request that all those programs be gutted and that funding be stripped away. So I wanted to frame again why it was so important for us to go back and grab this conversation and make sure that we're having it today. So let me welcome to the studio, now that we all situated in these chairs, my good friends from Milwaukee County. And I was actually surprised. Oh, you clapping? You know, well, stop sucking up to Sheriff Ball. We actually got Sheriff Danita Ball, who is joining us for this conversation. And the twist about how that comes about is extremely interesting. So, Jackie, let you set it up and help me to meet our guest this morning, and we'll get going.
Okay, well, thank you, Michelle. Thank you for welcoming us in, and thank you to the crew here at WNOV. And as you said, Suicide Prevention Month is in September, but it's an issue that really is not bound by any particular time period. The Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, he has 3 top priorities for Milwaukee County, and that's health, safety, and economic well-being. And this is a topic that touches upon 2 out of the 3, if you will, because it's, we want to support more lives, and all 3 contribute to making Milwaukee County the best Milwaukee County it can be, as well as the best county in Wisconsin. That's what we're aiming for. And when we're talking about equity and specifically health equity, it's fundamental that suicide prevention is part of the conversation, because it involves tackling the social, the economic, and systemic disparities that exist that compound that compound a person's view and perspective of their place in the world. And so, as Michelle had stated, it's not something that affects one community more than another. It's more so access to support and tools. That's where you may have see disparities in terms of people being able to have access to find solutions that are positive and not resulting in the end result. I guess I'm trying to find a nice way to say not killing themselves. Yeah. And so, we want to just remove these obstacles so we can have more access to prevention efforts. And that's why we invited our guest today, because what some people may have heard about their I want to say one of Milwaukee County's newest efforts, newest collaborations. And it's just a part of what County Executive Crowley would say, one county, one vision. And so I had invited Sheriff Danita Ball, also SOAR. Danita Ball, I get that in there. And as well as
leaning on that shield.
Right. I'm gonna have to probably some conversations later.
Literally leaning on the shield. All right.
As well as Andrea Nauer Welchman from Department of Health and Human Services. And so kudos to both departments for your recent effort. And I'll let you all take it in there. And you may have seen it in the news about their collaboration. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. So you know what? Ironically, Andrea, if it's okay, I'm gonna start on this end, because I went and pulled up the article that was in the Journal Sentinel 6 days ago. And there is a sign campaign that is happening across Milwaukee County parks. And the sign, it caught my eye when I was looking at the story. No judgment, just support. Trained counselors, confidential and free. The 988, which is now nationally known as Suicide Prevention Hotline, Suicide Crisis Hotline. But the story about how these signs show up in our parks, Sheriff Ball, let me start with you. How are you involved in this?
Good morning, Michelle, and thank you for having me. So our team was looking at data, and we saw that there was an increase in suicides, particularly along the lakefront. And so we typically would have a meeting with the Parks Department and talk about different issues and concerns. And so this was brought up as a concern for us, that we were seeing this. And so we work in collaboration with the Medical College of Wisconsin.
And wait, can I just slow you down for just a little bit? Because number one, you do talk fast. Law enforcement. But because these are things that we're not necessarily hearing about in the news. If someone has been successful at a suicide attempt, or even if they were unsuccessful, a lot of these stories don't make the news. So I think a lot of people may be taken aback when they hear you say that we noticed this uptick in suicides, and particularly as it relates to our lakefront. There are cities where you can identify where people are making these, life altering decisions. So what kind of time frame are we talking about that you began to notice this uptick?
So since 2024, we've seen 18 suicides throughout Milwaukee County. 7 or 8 of them have been in parks that are along the lakefront area. Okay. And so it was a concern for us. And to be honest, we don't highlight this because we don't want people to, like there to be copycats. Right. And so, but it was an issue that was brought up at the meeting with the Parks Department and our team and others. And Chief Deputy Brian Barco said, hey, can we put signs up? Because we've seen that in other communities. And so we went into partnership with the parks to pay for it, but there were others that were part of this partnership. The county executive's office, behavioral health services, Department of Health and Human Services, us, Parks Department, and others, So it was something that we thought was important because generally the first responders are the first ones on the scene. Right. And we see this horrific event. And so our deputies, they internalize, this. And we just wanted to do something that could possibly help save a life.
And so I'm glad you said that part, because one of the things I'm sitting here thinking as you're speaking is that, first of all, for lack of a better way to say it, that it was cool that not just that we saw an issue, but that we were looking for a solution, that we were looking for resources and aid to help the community. When we talk about law enforcement, we don't always think about them being solution oriented. It's more about either responding to something that has already happened, cleaning it up, dealing with it, and just to be able to thank you to the officers and your staff and the team around you that said, okay, we see this problem. What can we do? And then you also realize, and it's good for everybody. It's good for the community. It's good for the officers.
Correct.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, there are many times that I said, I don't know how members of law enforcement and the fire department respond to these things, and these people continue to be okay. There's got to be a little bit of you that gets impacted every time you go. And exactly. So thank you to that. So Andrea, this conversation comes up, help people understand, first of all, what it is you do for the county, and then how you play a part in this as well.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for
And I'm gonna have you pull the mic up a little bit, because I feel like you got a soft voice, unlike these other people in the studio.
Thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate this. And so I lead 2 of Milwaukee County's crisis walk-in clinics. So they're clinics that are available Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. in 3 locations across our county for individuals to be able to decide, right now is the moment I'm going to seek that care and engage in it in the moment. And then I got involved in this project in collaboration with the Sheriff's Department and Parks Department in looking at some of that data, in looking at what opportunities there were. About 135 individuals are affected by every death by suicide. So
wait, slow down. Say that number again.
About 135 individuals are affected by every one death by suicide.
So what does that mean though? Like, are we talking family members, community members, response people? What does that number encompass?
All of those individuals. And as Sheriff Ball pointed out, the responders, the first responders, we're talking about faith communities. We're talking about family, friends, the person that checks you out every week at the grocery store that is no longer seeing you. It's a big circle of individuals that we see that ripple effect with. So we know last year around 100 individuals died by suicide in Milwaukee County. So if we multiply that by the 135 individuals that are affected, we know our community is affected by these deaths by suicide. So taking that opportunity. And I coupled that in addition to with my experience. So prior to the leadership role I currently have, I answered that national line.
Really?
And what one of the interesting things is sometimes individuals would Google something, and the first hit that comes up was that national lifeline. And they would call and say, I was looking at something and this came up, so I thought I'd give it a try. I thought I'd call and see if you could help. And that opportunity to see if we could help meant all the difference. It was literally a life and death decision that they made. And that opportunity to connect was really something. So these signs serve as that very tangible reminder in free places across our community that help is available when it's needed. And so that opportunity to come together. And this partnership also helped out significantly, having the medical college, their comprehensive injury center, focused on suicide prevention and healing, the Sheriff's Department, Parks Department, and Health and Human Services. It allowed us to grow our sign number from 20 signs up to 40 signs. So that partnership became valuable because we also were able to enhance the number of signs as well.
Hang on a second, Jermaine. I can hear that. Thanks. Well, first of all, when things line up, there's nothing like it. When you got willing partners and people who each play a critical role in this whole thing unfolding, those are win days, because sometimes by the time you got to go through legislation, who's going to pay for it? We got to find the money. We're in the middle of a budget, process. Sheriff Ball, you want some money for some signs, like these are things that shouldn't be a barrier, but they become a barrier. So how many signs are we ultimately talking about? It looks like we may see placed in the park systems. I looked in the paper. I think I saw about 40. So does that sound about right?
Yes.
That's the number that I heard as well.
And, in the article, they reference former Milwaukee Alderman Jonathan Brostoff. And I worked with Jonathan in the state capitol when he was a state representative. A lot of people in the community struck particularly hard by that loss because Jonathan was a decent guy. But I tell people, I don't care who folks are and what they're going through. This can't be the solution. I talked this morning about young children in Chicago who watched their mother be beaten by a group of their peers, quite frankly. Looks like the oldest may have been about 14. The youngest could have been first grade that were a part of this. And that one little boy, as he stood there shielding his mother, who looked pregnant from these kids beating and attacking her, but that potentially that this child has been bullied for 2 years already in this school. And if the person who's supposed to protect you can't protect you, which is your mother, school couldn't protect him. These are the things that when I give a statistic like kids as young as 10 years old have looked at, this as a method to deal with whatever's going on, you understand how this stuff happens. So Andrew, when you said that these crisis walk-in centers, is it specifically for folks that are struggling with, issues that may cause them to consider suicide, or any array of issues? Who comes through your doors?
So it is for any array of an issue. It is a crisis clinic, and an individual defines what their crisis is. So that's really led by the individual seeking help and support. And so we serve individuals that are 18 and older in that opportunity, and in a really neat team environment too. So everybody meets with a clinician during those walk-in hours, same day, to have access to that. And then we also have medical staff, psychiatrists and psychiatric nurse practitioners, as well as individuals with lived experience, certified peer specialist. They've lived mental health and or substance use experience. And that community member gets to pick who they want to be on their team. So a clinician is automatically assigned to their team, and then they can build on who would be helpful in that support as well.
So let me just ask you, Sheriff Ball, because, there have been a lot of conversations about how law enforcement, in particular, I'm thinking about the Milwaukee Police Department, but I'm going to extend it over to the Sheriff's Department, how folks show up when they get calls, and sometimes folks are saying, hey, this wasn't a law enforcement moment. This was a mental health crisis provider moment. This was a counselor moment, or maybe they go in together. But has your department either instituted or looked at any array of training or services that you're offering to your officers to be able to handle these situations when they're out on the street?
Absolutely. And it starts in the academy. And so also within service, we have additional training, but we have our CART team that goes out with a clinician if there's someone that's in crisis.
And
And
what's the CART team? What does that stand for?
it's Crisis Awareness Response Team.
Look, she was like, put me on the spot.
And so it's a clinician and one of our deputies that go out, and if there's someone that's in crisis, and they can evaluate that person and try to calm them down and let them know that there are resources outside of going to an institution. And so, but sometimes some of them may have to, go in and seek additional help. But so our agency do make sure that we're part of that team. I think there are 3 teams throughout Milwaukee County. The police department, Milwaukee Police Department has a team. West Allis has a team, and I think Wauwatosa is getting ready to have a team if they don't have it already. And so these are mobile teams that can go out, on site and evaluate our citizens if they're going through a crisis, and follow up later on too, to make sure that they have the resources that they need.
So let me do this. We need to take a quick break. But when we come back, so people yesterday were completely irritated by me and all my happiness about the holidays. I love Christmas, and Christmas trees are already up in my house. I still have more to go. I know. I saw you roll your eyes. I saw you roll your eyes, Sheriff. It's okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I just turned away.
Like, she doing way too much. I saw you, Andrea. Nice to know I have a kindred spirit amongst us.
Hey, I'm right there. I'm right there.
Oh, 3. All right, that's 3 of us. Look at her face. Look at her face. Oh my God, Sheriff Ball, you are ridiculous. So, in that though, one of the things that I certainly have learned over the years is that what for me is this joyful, happy time, for other people is stressful. It's lonely. It is when people can evaluate their life and friendships and connections. And while here's Michelle, posted her picture of her freaking trees. People are comparing their lives and, making judgment calls. And even people who will have all those things, but still that these holidays, for some reason, seem like they can trigger something in which it can make some people sad or, again, just questioning their life. And so I wanted to take a moment to just ask, do we pay attention to the holiday season? Is there anything that people should think about or understand about it? And are there any resources that get teed up? Somebody just said it. Are there resources that get teed up in terms of preparing for this time of year as well? So I'll just put that out there, let you think about it. And Sheriff Ball, I'll put up another tree today.
Another? How many do you have?
You know what? Conversation for another day. Will already got beat up yesterday. I had to send pictures to people because people are like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm sorry. If I could have a Christmas house, I would have a year-round Christmas house. We'll be right back, y'all. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM, with the hater, Sheriff Danita Ball, in the studio. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Somehow or another during the break, it seems like I've been given a job of putting up somebody's Christmas tree. You know, I'm not going to say this is abuse of law enforcement, but we'll talk about it later. Let me just say that we are having a conversation this morning following up on the fact that we didn't get to have it in September, but we didn't want to miss the opportunity to discuss suicide prevention resources, awareness, talking to folks, helping them either understand what's available, a new sign project, SIGN sign project that in great part has been spurred by ideas coming from out of the sheriff's office about an uptick in suicides that they noticed in our park areas, and collaborating, reaching out to other departments within the county. How do we make this, an issue? How we raise awareness? What can we do? Can we get some signs? And the wheels get turning, and folks get on board, and folks figure out a way to make it happen. And again, if you have not seen these signs, if you go to an article in the Journal Sentinel, they have a photo of them, and I just love that it says, no judgment, just support. And that's what people need. Before we went to the break, I had raised a question about what people have referred to, I think, is like a seasonal type of situation. And Andrea said, hey, let's talk about some Mythbusters, though. Let's talk about, what we know for sure is factual and things that people believe, but we may not necessarily have the evidence to back it up. So, Andrea, let me turn the mic over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really common belief.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your smile is amazing, but keep going. Okay. Like, it's hard to rival Danita Ball and that would, but I just love it. Okay. Look, Jermaine was like, let me look. What her teeth look like? Jermaine said, wait, I didn't notice the smile, Michelle. Let me look. But go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. It's a very common belief that the holidays can be hard. And I don't want to minimize that. Stressors do look different during the holiday season. However, what is also different around the holiday season is that we see connection that doesn't normally happen. So maybe there's some family estrangement, but Christmas time, Hanukkah time are big deals. So that person gets an invite to the holiday situation. Support actually often comes around more around the holidays versus other times of the year. But you're right. The stressors often do look different around the holiday time.
I'm telling you right now, I don't care what holiday it is. We not invite my brother. I'm sorry. He'll know how to act. He does not know how to act. He gonna tear up the party he listening to. He gonna tear up the party every time. My mother would be like, did you call your brother? No. Did you tell your brother what time dinner starts? No. But
But he knows you're thinking of him when you're planning. So he's got that down.
He coming anyway. Like, you don't even wait for the invite. But it's interesting that you said that about the holiday and that time of year. I had a listener to the show text me last night, and let me see if I can find the text real quick. She was in the grocery store, and she said, where is it? She said, good evening, Michelle. You won't believe what just happened to me. I was in Metro Market, 127th and Capitol, and this man, he looked like he might have been Hispanic, was behind me. He paid for all of my groceries.
Wow.
I asked him why. He said, times are hard and happy holiday.
Wow.
I gave him a
amazing.
big hug and thanked him. I almost felt like crying. I told him I've heard of this happening to people. I didn't ever think it would happen to me. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There is something about the holidays that, and I'm so glad Andrea, which way? Andrea, that you point that out, that there is a degree of benevolence and grace and humanity that we find that can help people during those times. So Sheriff, as you think about this sign program, is there going to be anything that you all do to kind of track, so you're able to come back and say, hey, 6 months this time in 2024, we noticed X, Y, and Z, and we've seen a decrease, an uptick, but will there be any kind of tracking that goes on now that these signs have been put in place?
Absolutely, but not necessarily that we are looking specifically at this, but we look at we will be looking at the data to see, hey, are we still seeing an increase in the number of suicides that are along along the lakefront? And so we will, of course, share that information with our partners, excuse me, and see if there's anything that we can do. But we're hoping that everything that we do will make a difference, and not just the signs, but people understanding some of the tips that people give off, whether they're going into depression or giving away things or stuff like that. They can say, hey, what's going on? How can I help? Because suicide is actually a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And so, although you're doing self-harm to yourself, but you're also, as was stated before, it's impacting, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and the community. And so, if you feel like that there's somebody out there that can help you, then I think it'll make a difference. I think the numbers will show that.
So let me just ask Andrea, for family members, for folks that, you know, are around, are there things that people should be paying attention to? Are there signs? Or, because later in hindsight, people are like, you know what? I noticed they had not been around as much, or they were more quiet or more introverted.
Yeah.
So are there some things that as family members of the community that we should kind of pay attention to as we're navigating?
Yes, there are. And so a few of those things are someone talking about wanting to die, feeling more helpless, or thinking that things will never change. As you pointed out, Michelle, that increased isolation or withdrawing from family, friends, or typical things that somebody does. Changes in how somebody normally is that are different. Maybe for somebody it's sleeping more or sleeping less. Maybe it's routines that have significantly changed, giving away items or saying goodbye. And I really consider all of those invitations to ask directly about, are you having suicidal thoughts? And we can really do that in a caring conversation to say, I know that things have been really tough for you recently. You lost your job and you're going through a really hard time. Sometimes when people are navigating those situations, they have thoughts of suicide. Are you thinking of killing yourself?
Let me just say, so I have a good friend, and I later learned that it seems like they have struggled with depression most of their life.
Sure.
Or at some point in their life, but it's been going on now for a long time. And, so I had begun to pick up kind of subtle cues about there's something, under the surface here. And then I actually got a call that they were planning to take their life. And, for all the stuff that I do and the conversations I've had and the things, I've researched and I've studied, when I tell you I was not prepared for that moment.
Sure.
I definitely, was quick on my feet. I remembered all of the conversations and tried to draw on that. But it is something when you are actually, it's no longer clinical for you. This is your situation.
Personal.
This is personal. This is your moment.
Mhm.
And I felt so inadequate. And I'm like, Michelle, you've been exposed to these conversations so many times. You worked on the legislation. You've been in the room. You've met with the folks from NAMI multiple times.
Sure.
You've done a lot of work. But when that moment came, and so there was a little bit of me that was like, when you learn the Heimlich, you somewhere stored and you can draw on that. But I just always wondered, like, if you find yourself in that situation, what do you say? What do you do? How do you talk through that?
Yeah.
So is there anything, a resource that you can refer, because we got to get ready to wrap, but I don't want to leave without two things. Again, reminding individuals who are directly impacted that may be having ideations or thoughts, where they can go and turn. But is there also a resource for families or for individuals who just say, I want to be better? because I know
Sure.
somebody in my family that struggles.
Yeah. I think to talk about what it's like when you're sitting there, and even if you have all this experience and asking about it, is really creating a non-judgmental listening zone. You don't have to have the right words, but creating a safe space to listen can be incredibly impactful, and not having to do it alone. Individuals, if you're supporting someone asking, you're able to call 988 with that person. So you don't have to have all the answers, just knowing where to turn for help and support with the person who may be having suicidal thoughts. They'll be able to help support you in that space in that way. And I think that makes all the difference. There's also gatekeeper trainings across Milwaukee County. We've trained 1,400 individuals in this past year with trainings about how to recognize suicidal thoughts, how to have conversations with somebody who's experiencing, and how to listen in those judgment-free zones as well.
Gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a community of prevention.
I have to do a little bit more research. Well, I just want to say, first of all, how important this subject matter is. The one thing I will say, folks that work in this area, I'm always concerned about how they take care of themselves. I can't imagine the stress of being a sheriff. I can't imagine, Andrew, when you said no, Michelle, I was answering that phone. I was, the person on the other end. So first of all, thank you to you too, for the work that you do. We understand that it takes a lot to do this. And for folks that are listening, hopefully you will take advantage. If you know someone, if you suspect something, something just doesn't feel quite right, to follow up, to initiate that conversation, and make sure that we ask the questions. Better to ask and offend than to be polite, and then we get, a really bad outcome. Jackie, as usual, wonderful programming. Thank you for bringing these two amazing women in to speak with us, leaders in the work. And family, I got to wrap my show for today. You're going to go put up another Christmas tree.
Oh my goodness.
You heard it.
You have inspired me, Michelle. I've been getting
goodness.
things like ordering things online. Now I'm ready to put them up. So.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you very much. Jermaine, stop making faces.
Hey, I'm not in it.
I'm with you, Jermaine. I'm with you.
See, I'm trying to get in good with the boss.
That's just because you don't want to get pulled
That's
over.
right. I get pulled over, I do know your boss.
I know your boss.
Your boss.
You know what? That's not a good look at all. Debo, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. All right. Is Clark still here? Clark? I'm with you, bro. All right, family. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.